What do you actually picture when you hear visual data? Is it graphs, dashboards, something sleek and minimal, maybe futuristic? It's a term we hear all the time, but one that's rarely defined with any precision. So at Constellations, we set out to explore a deceptively simple question. We're used to seeing data visualization, such as diagnostic reports on our cars or health statistics on our Apple Watches. But what does visual data actually look like, according to real people? We launched our first ever publicly accessible perception test to find out. We gave 50 design-minded college students a curated set of 36 visuals. These were pulled from Pinterest using search terms like info branding, infographics, and data graphic design. No tagging, no guidance, just visuals. Their task, to rate how closely each image matched their personal understanding of visual data. The results were not what we expected. Instead of gravitating towards high-tech, minimal digital designs, participants clustered overwhelmingly around analog-style, heavily labeled, and information-dense graphics. In fact, a top-rated swatch, a densely labeled, print-based design, scored over 78% positive alignment. It wasn't the polish, it wasn't the platform, it was the visible structure. So what were they really responding to? 3 consistent patterns emerged. 1. Metatype as an anchor. Labeling wasn't just helpful, it was foundational. Metatype, especially when small, structured, and repeated, acted like gravity in the perception map. Swatches with dense labels pulled neighboring images into their perceptual orbit. 2. Labeling equals trust. There was a noticeable bias towards print-based analog-style images. This wasn't about nostalgia, it was about trust. Structured, labeled visuals implied transparency, something interpretable and accountable. It suggested that we believed visual data must first be readable. 3. The sleekness penalty. Clean, futuristic designs didn't perform as well as we expected it to. In fact, many scored negatively. Why? Because while they looked polished, they lacked visual cues. No labels, no visible data, no structure. To our audience, they didn't just feel empty, they felt evasive. We also saw a fascinating use of density as a heuristic. Respondents appeared to equate visual complexity, when well-structured, with informational value. More type, more hierarchy, more detail equaled more data. Even if the actual content wasn't measurable, the appearance of detail made a difference. This raises a crucial design paradox. Is the visual data about real information or the visual impression of it? Perception shapes design meaning. Based on these results, we believe that the presence of visible data contributes to a sense of credibility, and that certain design elements, like labeling and structure, may play a role in how trust is visually signaled. For us, this test underscored a foundational truth. If we want to create visuals that carry the credibility and trust that visual data carries, it needs to be structured and contain informative data about what is shown. Build in structure, signal hierarchy, let meaning be visible without overpowering the point. Imagine buying a soft drink at a grocery or a rest stop, only to notice that there is no visual data on the outside. No ingredients list, no nutritional information, no small print. Do you trust it? Or would you think twice before drinking the contents of the bottle with no visual data? The full breakdown of this test, including methodologies, visuals, and takeaways, is now live on the Constellations site. If you care about how your visuals are seen, understood, and believed, you'll want to read it. Click the link to explore.